Welcome back. We are going to finishing up Module 4, the textbook project. We did up to 4.8. We are now on 4.9, Modified Table Style Options. So we're going to learn how to format a table, how to align cells in a table. This is actually going to be very helpful when we start doing Excel, because a lot of these things are going to be very, very similar. So it wants me to go to the table itself, and I'm just going to click anywhere in the table. And notice that I now have table design and table layout. Now it does tell you table tools in here. You're not necessarily seeing table tools. Sometimes you'll see it up top and sometimes you won't see it up top. But we want table design and table layout showing, so we're good over here. So what we want to be in is table design, and notice that you have the table styles here. So I'm going to click the More button. It wants me to do List Table 2, Accent 1. So the way it's located is you go obviously to List. To the left over here, this section in row 1 is going to be Table 1. This will be Table 3. This will be Table 5. And of course, if we're showing, it would actually show it. That's 7. And then going back to this one, this will be 2, 4, and 6. So it wants us to do List Table 2 and then Accent 1. Now, I have some things checked that may not necessarily need to be checked and some things that are not checked. So we have to go by what the book says, because whatever was done last is what's going to be showing up top here. I'm talking about over here, the first column, banded rows and banded columns. So I do not have showing what the actual book shows in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the banded columns. And it's still not show. Yeah, now it's showing what it should be in there. So we're good over here. Now what banded means is every other column or row, make it a different color. So we do have the banded rows checked in here. But notice what happens if I get rid of it. Then all the different colors in every other row. This is considered one row here. And because this is merged, it's going to show it all in blue here, but you can see every other row here is a different color, except for the format. So we're going to go, let's say in the table styles option, click the first column checkbox to clear it. So we want to clear it. If it's not checked already, then you don't have to do anything. So that takes care of that. And then we're going to click the banded rows to clear it, and click the banded columns to select it. So we don't want banded rows, but we want banded columns. So now you can see how it's really changed in here. Now we're going to click the first column to select it. And then we're going to click the banded columns we want to click the banded columns to select it. It's there. So that's good. Then we're going to click the first column to select it, which we did. I think I read the same number 1 twice in here. Click the design button and do the colors. So let's go to the design now. Notice that there's no colors here in design. They mean this design here. And we're going to go to green. Now I'm going to show you a little trick at the end, because with all the clicking and unclicking that you do, it's very easy to have something different. So I want to show you a little trick at the very end. So we changed it to green, and then we want to make sure that we view grid lines. So we're going to go to the Layout tab, and we're going to view grid line. Now see, I have view grid lines already selected. If there wasn't a gray around it, you would not see the grid lines. This is the actual, not grid lines, this is the color scheme that we have over here. So let's click on View Grid Lines. And you can see that these are the grid lines that you actually see in here. It's a little bit difficult to see, but you'll notice it on your, they're the ones with the little dots in there. So now we're going to, that was number 6. Then we're going to do some aligning. So I'm going to click on, I call it the table select They call it the table move, whatever you want over here. Now notice I have something that's wrong here, and that I didn't pick up on it when I did it. That should be something that instead of saying minus 1600, which is a formula, it should have actual text in there. So we'll fix that in a little bit. So what we want to do is we want to align left center. So this is all our align left. This is align left top, align left center, align left bottom. So now we're going to select the entire table, and everything is going to be align left and center. That is number 7. Then we're going to select the format column, and we're going to just do align left. So I'm going to just select this column here, and I want to do align center. So that's centered, and then the cost will be align right. So that takes care of this. Select the last 3 rows of the table, and we want to put bold. So now notice this is bold, but this is not bold. So I'm going to just go to the home right now. So you can see this is not bold, this is bold. So a little trick to get everything bold is to click it twice. So that gets rid of what was bolded, and now we're going to click on it. Now everything's bolded. So that's a little trick, and we'll change it to 12 point. So now we're good in here, and then save your changes. So this should be difference. I think I missed one step over here. So we need to change this to align right. And then we're going to select the first row of the table, and we're going to choose center. So here is the mini toolbar. We can just select center over here. Now notice what it did. It changed it here automatically. So we're good here. Then we're going to select the first row. We've done that. On the mini tool, we're going to change the font size arrow to 12. So I'm going to right click on it to get the mini toolbar, change it to 12, then deselect the row, and we should look like this, and this should say difference. So I need to delete this. Now notice what it's doing here is deleting it bit by bit. Now I have it done, so I'm going to type in difference. But I'll show you an easier trick to do it than the way I did it. If you click here and hit the tab key, it automatically selects the entire cell, next cell in here. So that's a little easy trick. So I'm going to save everything here, and I'm going to move on to the next step, which is customizing a table format. So in this part, we're going to add shading and borders to a table, and we're going to do some rotating a text, which sounds a lot harder than it really is. So what it wants us to do is select the format and venue rows and click the merge button. So I'm selecting these 2 cells, and notice that merge cells is here, and I can right click as well and choose merge cells. Now notice that it's still selected. So I'm going to, instead of delete everything, since it's selected, I'm going to type in add location. Then we're going to select the sign, print, and digital cells. So we have sign, print, and digital cells. So let's see what we want to do there. And it wants us to click the text direction button in the alignment group twice. So here is the alignment group. It tells us to click it twice, once, and twice. So now you notice that it is sideways and facing in there. Then deselect the cells in here, and it tells us that the cells are rotated 270 degrees. So now we're good here, and you can see how this is affected as well. It tells us to deselect the cells, position a pointer over the sign right cell border, and change it to the left approximately to the 1/4 inch mark. So we're going to click here, and it's a little tricky to do. Position a pointer over the sign cell right border. which is right here. So it's a little tricky to get it. So we're good. And drag the border left to the approximately 1/4 inch. So it's a little bit hard to tell, but you can see this should be approximately 1/4 inch here. Let's see, that's a 1/2 inch. So I'm going to undo it, and let's take a look at where we need to go. So this is 1/8, 1/4. So we need to go approximately right here. So which would be right under the W in rows. So we're pretty good there. And that takes care of that one over there. Click sign to place the insertion point in the sign cell. Well, we've done that. And let's see what else we need to do. Then we're going to put some shading in here. So we're going to click the table cells design tab, which is right here. And we're going to, it's got the gallery of colors in here. So what we're going to do is click lime green over here. So we're going to do shading. So we want to find lime green. And let's see if we can find lime green, which I believe is this. There's lime accent 3 and lime accent 2 in here. So it wants lime accent 2. So we're good for that. Then we're going to click the print cell. And we're going to do shading. It wants us to do dark teal accent 4 and for the digital turquoise. So let's go in here and see if we can find dark teal, which should be one of these. This is dark teal accent 4. And we're going to go to turquoise accent 6. So this could be turquoise. So we just need to find turquoise. And we're not seeing turquoise in here. So let me go and keep going till I find it. Now, there's turquoise. Okay. If you don't see these, then make sure that you change your theme. So here we have turquoise accent 6 is good. So that looks pretty nice. Select the header row, click the shading arrow. Here's our header row. And we want to click green accent 1, which is going to kind of mess up a little bit, but that's okay. We're going to change that. Here's green accent 1. Then we're going to change the actual font color to white. So I'm going to right click here and change this to white. So I am now on step number 7, where it wants me to click the borders arrow on the border group, click view gridlines to go over here. So here is the border styles, in here the borders group. Here is borders and all of the necessary things that we need to. So we're going to click view gridlines to turn on that as well. So it's a little bit confusing what they want to do, so I'll try to do it step by step. So I'm going to click the borders arrow and then view grid lines, which is definitely different than what we did before, but there's always multiple ways of doing the same thing. So let's go to our borders and let's get rid of the view grid lines. So they're gone. That doesn't have anything to do with these borders over here. So don't confuse these as grid lines because they're not. Then we will go to select the last 3 rows right over here. And then we're going to click on no border. So here's our border. And we'll click on no border. So that takes care of this. And then we're going to click in the table to deselect the rows, which we've done. Select the total cost row and the borders arrow, click the top border. So here's our total cost row. So we're going to click and select it right here. And then what we're going to do is click the top border. So let me read this again. Select the total cost row, click the borders arrow. So this is the total cost row. and it wants me to do the top border, which is nice here. Then it wants to click the 125 cell here. So we're going to click here and we're going to do a bottom border. As soon as I find it, there's bottom border right on top. And the active color is black. Top border is added in here. Select the total cost row on the borders arrow. So let's do the total cost row. Again, and then the borders arrow, we're going to do borders and shading. We're going to click shading green accent 1 on top. So that's a little confusing. First they have you select it. First they do that. Here's our total cost row. We want to click the borders arrow. We want to click borders and shading. We want to click the color arrow. We want to click green accent 1 at the top. So we want to change the top border color. So all that's a lot of fancy stuff for what it needed to do. So here's our borders and shading. And notice that you may have to select this again. So we're going to go to color. We're going to change that to green accent 1. Now notice it did not change in here the color. So if that happens, just click it twice. So click it once. Actually, we only have to click it once and we're good to go. And click OK. Let's deselect it and see what it looks like. So now we have a nice bottom border over here and actually a top border. So that's starting to look good. And that actually takes care of everything that we needed to do. Here is a representation on the table so you can see we have a bottom border here, we have the top border here, and we have the different colors here, and then we have the green up top. So again, a lot of this stuff is just going to be selective to what you want to do. Our last part is 4D WD 4-11, insert a cover page, really very easy. Insert a watermark in here. So we're going to click on the View tab. And it wants me to show multiple pages, which I'm doing. And then I'm going to go to Insert and Cover tab. So let's go to Insert and Color Cover Page. Let's try that again. And we're going to go down and find Semaphore. And here is Semaphore. I think that looks kind of neat. So it really looks nice. And it's all done for you automatically. So we've done number 3, number 4 in the date property. Click the publish date arrow. So here's the date arrow. And here's the publish date and change it to current date. So we're going to click the arrow down here and see what happens. So we can choose the current date. And we're good here, or we can click today. So now we've done this over here, which is number 4. Number 5, we're going to click View and Page Width, which is what I normally work on. So you can tell this is a control because it's going to have the name of the control and it's going to have an arrow in here. So notice that we had the today. So I could have chose either one. Whatever is your liking, they both do the same thing. We're going to click the document subtitle. So let's see if we can find the document subtitle, which is right here. So you just click in it, and we're going to type JCL Talent. JCL Talent, comma, New York. Then it tells me to right-click on the company name. So I'll right-click and choose Remove Content Control. And we're going to do the same thing with the address. That's done. So now you have the title property, the subtitle property, and your author is right over here. So again, we're going to do the view pages. So you can put your name here, which I will do. So now it wants me to go to page width. We've done that. We've done number 6. We're clicking on number 7, which is view multiple pages. And let's see what happens. Then we're going to go and place the insertion point in the middle of page 2. So this is page 1. This obviously would be page 2. So I'm clicking somewhere in the middle of page 2. Click the Design tab. Well, where's the Design tab? Right over here. And we're going to put in a watermark. So in the page background group, so we're going to type confidential 1. So let's go down here. And here it has confidential 1. So you cannot get rid of that watermark. So that looks good here. Completed document. So we're done. And that is everything. So hopefully that has helped you. I've tried to give you different ways of doing the same thing. I really like some of the stuff that they have in Microsoft Word. I don't use everything there. But overall, I'm hoping that this will definitely help you out with the papers you're going to be writing. So I will see you soon.